I did a railway hike near Courtenay, just a few miles south of the north end of the E&N line. This map shows the area of Courtenay and south of Courtenay, and the two red dots are the start and end point of my hike. The start point is on the lower right at Royston, right at Royston Road level crossing, and that is just before mile 136. And the upper dot is the level crossing at Fraser Road, and that's my turnaround point on my hike, and that's around mile 137.7 or so. And I just went out and back along the E&N. Here is a closer view of the railway in the area between Royston Road and Fraser Road. And again, my start and turnaround points are the red dots. I started at Royston Road just before mile 136, and that was just one long straightaway. And if you follow this map northward, right where it says Waterton Coat Company, there's a level crossing marker, and that's for, well, there used to be a crossing there, but it's long removed and there's really no sign of it, and that was where Comox's logging railway road had crossed, but there's no evidence of that anymore. Continuing north on the railway, right near where it says North Island Tractor, that yellow diamond is the mile 137 post. And just a little ways north of there, the north end of my hike involved looking at two different spurs that both went off to the west for southbound traffic, and both of them were for pole yards, companies that made wooden poles and needed them shipped out by rail. Let's look at the area of the two pole yards using Google Maps satellite image. This is Royston Road. Looking south is the Trent River Trestle eventually, and I'm going north. Mile 135.75 is what the crossbuck tells me. So I'm heading north on the E&N. I haven't been here before. At the start of my hike, at mile 135.8, there used to be a frame truss over Roy Creek. The truss was 173 feet long. It was filled and replaced with an arch culvert years ago. So I plan to walk about as far north as near where the Walmart is now. I think it's Fraser Road or Millard or something like that. At mile 136, there used to be a siding named Royston, 1,687 foot long siding, as well as a water tank. I didn't see any evidence of these when I did my walk both out and back, partly because I didn't know to look for them, but there wasn't any obvious clues either. Here comes mile 136 on the E&N Victoria Subdivision. I haven't been walking this far north before. At mile 136.4, there used to be a diamond crossing with the Canadian Collieries Dunsmuir Limited Railway, and it was protected by an interlocking plant. Again, I didn't see any evidence of this, long gone through the years of history, but I also didn't know to look for any evidence. The growth of trees over the years and just the changing landscape from human activity has a way of obscuring any old historical items. One of the nice things for my walk is this nice even path right beside the rail. Makes it a whole lot safer and easier to walk. I don't have to look at every single step. I don't have to worry about slipping. And the leaves are really nice. Here comes a spur breaking off to the west as I head northbound. This Google Maps satellite view shows the location of where the pole yards are and were. The red Roman numeral in the lower right area is the location of the spur for Island Pole, which operated until rail was discontinued in, it was either 2013 or year 2014. And now it's really just overgrown, very swampy. There's a lot of standing water in that area. And in my video of exploring that, I don't really know what the spur was for, and I speculate that it was something to do with loading logs for Comox Logging Company. But obviously I was wrong. That was Island Pole's yard, now completely gone. Here's the switch stand with the old timbers by the ditch. So I just talked to a couple people walking the other way, and they said that this is not the pole yard. They thought this is a lumber yard. So I'll find out, see how far I can go on this spur. I'm right at the Frog. Okay, walking down the spur track. There's a post for some sort of a sign. Okay. There's the spur. There's the derail. That's what the post might be for. There's the derail right there. Oh, this isn't as overgrown as I thought. The rail is through there, just in front of that concrete retaining wall, and then it probably continues through here. Should be the grade. Let's see if I find some rail. Or if it's gone. Oh, here's the rail. Here's the rail right there. The rail still exists. Through here are some boards. Well, it looks like it's a log retaining wall. So through here in the water. There's a rail. So this very well could be a loading dock right here. Up there, pathway above. Could be a loading dock, and there's a rail right where I'm standing, but it's all overgrown. So that's what this could be. The rail is visible again through there. Yeah, still visible through there. Some pretty serious blackberries there, and that's where the rail goes through. It's really hard to see, but this is where I turn around and go back to the main line.
The rail is through there, you can see it. Here's how difficult it is to find the rail. It's right there beside my foot. There's one side. The other side, right there. And it goes through there. Okay, let's go back to the open area and then walk back to the main line. Okay, I'm walking back towards the main line. I got the spur on my right. And there's one of the rails on the spur. And let's head back north. Maybe the next thing I find will be easier to figure out. The main line here has a lot of grass right up to the rail level because it's moist and a good place for grass to grow. Up ahead I see a level crossing. I've seen some vehicles crossing over. My guess is that's Fraser Road. And so up here on the left should be the pole factory, whatever you want to call it, the pole yard. And I'm guessing there'll be a switch going off to the left because there's a switch stand. The red Roman numeral 2 near the top of the screen is the rough location for the spur that goes into Chinook Forest Products, which is still there, and there's still lots of poles in the yard. It's an active site. However, they haven't shipped by rail since probably the 1990s. And so that spur, although it goes to an active yard, is a long time ago when it was last used. And when I was recording that video, I think I just assumed that the Chinook yard was the one that was most recently used for rail, when in fact it was the other empty yard that was most recently used by rail. Mile 137.5 is the spur that up until the 1990s was used by Chinook Forest Products. I have an old chart that lists this as being for Dominion tar and chemicals. Through there I just saw some poles. This is the place. Here's the switch stand. And, oh, here's the switch. Right now it looks like the blackberries are going to get in the way of me exploring the spur, but you never know. Coming up to the frog. Poles. Too bad the railway is not running up here. Okay, I'm going to walk through here and just see if I can see where this spur ends, if there's an easy end to it. There's a rail right my foot's on. Second rail. And we go right through here. And that's where it goes. Main line is through there.
Spur joins the main line through there. I'll go back from the direction I came. Back to the main line towards Fraser Road. Aha, so here comes the level industrial crossing for the pole yard property, and then behind it is Fraser Road. And then further on down is Walmart. Wow. It's the private crossing, blocked off. Fraser Road. There's a bell on top of that crossing post. And the crossbuck says 137.6. Time for me to head on back south. Here's a level crossing for a pedestrian trail. And it looks like this is a utility corridor. Here's the spur, the south spur. And now it's a nice straight stretch, then a gentle curve, and then a really long straightaway to Royston Road. Here's mile 137 on an old telegraph pole. It's pretty cool. Alright, half an hour walk or so to get to the mile 136 sign. That's really pretty. It's as if this path was groomed because it's just pressed nice and firm. It's even. It's really consistent in its width. And it's right off the edge of the ties. And so I'm thankful it's here. My guess is this has been worn down over time by people walking through this as neighborhood walks. The path is much wider now. Still a very nice, even, well-used path. At mile 135.9, there used to be an interchange with both the Canadian Collieries Dunsmuir Limited Railway and the Comox Logging and Railway Company Railway. In this upcoming part of the video, as I walk southward towards mile 136, I notice what appears to be an old railway grade on the east side of the E&N. And I speculate that it was Comox Logging and Railway Company Railway. It could have been that, or Canadian Collieries Dunsmuir Limited, and I eventually arrive at what I think was an interchange. And based on some charts that I've seen, there was an interchange in that area. Looking north,
I'm almost at Royston Road. But what's got my attention is right beside me through these woods is just beyond a little ditch is a built-up grade, and I'm wondering if that could be a Comox logging railway grade if it ran parallel to the E&N here at Royston. So I'm just looking at it, and it's looks like a railway grade to me. It's wide enough. It's built up. So it could be. Again, I'll research that and see if I can figure that out. Looking south, that's what I think was the Comox logging railway grade, and the E&N looking north. So are they merging here? Are they interchanging? Because if they are, that's what this looks like. Right through there. Makes sense in terms of how the land is lying here. This is just north of mile 136 on the E&N, and I think this could be the junction, if there is such a thing. And looking south, coming up to the whistle sign for Royston Road and mile 136. I did about 25 minutes for this mile section, which is pretty good for an old guy like me. Royston Road, and this is the end of my hike. Maybe about 2.5 miles each way or so. It was good. What a good day. I would like to thank Aidan Perrett for his help in sorting me out as to what I saw during my hike by explaining the history of the 2 spurs that I saw and what each of them were used for. And Aidan is the admin for a Facebook group called Vancouver Island Rail Fans, and he also has a number of social media accounts that are all labeled as Trains on Vancouver Island, and those are good. Please check them out. Thanks, Aidan.